Hi. Okay, we're back. We're back here. I'm gonna hang on real quick, and we're gonna get some headphones, and then I'm gonna mess with my sound settings, which is something if I was good at this whole streaming thing, uh, I would have done before this stream. But here we are. So settings. Let's see. Audio. Ba. There we go. Why is the music so low? Let's go with the nice 70. Yeah, I don't know why all this stuff is balanced so low. And there go, my headphones. Okay. So, we're gonna start a new game, and we're going to go through some of these options. Uh, indestructible. No, no. Okay, all of this stuff looks pretty good. Um, okay, the big things that I want to do are. What do I want to do? Test flight. Test flight. Here we go. I don't want pre-launch ignition failures, because all those do is set you back like 10 days. Let's see. Cloud shadows have been kind of buggy for me, so I'm going to disable those. I'm going to disable mission training, because I don't know. I actually I'm going to disable the it's an all or nothing kind of deal. I'm gonna disable the mission training because I'm lazy and I always forget to do that. Don't need the decouple node hints. Kerbalism. Yeah, all of this looks good. Lifetime radiation. Oh, shoot. I need to turn down storm probability, right? Because I think that by default is ridiculously high. Yeah, let's take that down to like 10. Editor extensions. Sure. Hanger extender. Let's see. Okay, this all looks good. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna take those. Those are our settings. Let's get into the game. We're gonna be sending stuff up to space and seeing how that does. Okay. Oh, not responding. Let's give it a minute. There we go. Okay. So, RP1. We're here. I've done this a couple of times before, but I haven't done a great job of explaining a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. So, start on this this starting screen. These are the dates that our crew's going to be retiring, but if we do cool stuff with them, we can buy them an additional 15 years. That's like a maximum. We're not gonna get that 15 years out of them, probably. I'd be surprised if these people lasted longer than, say, 1960. But we'll do our best here. So there's that. I think we want to stick with Cape Canaveral because it's the classic, you know. So we're gonna spend an upgrade point. What these upgrade points do is they're gonna increase the speed at which we either build rockets or do research. Right now we have no research going, so I'm gonna put that in to the vehicle assembly building. That's what VAB stands for. And then I think we're probably gonna buy another one and put it in there too. So understood. Here you can see cues for what we're building and what we're researching, and we can access that upgrade menu again. Kerbal Alarm Clock is not all that useful to us here, but we're going to keep Kerbal Construction Time up here. This guy's just part of stock KSP. You guys all know Gene if you're here, probably. Either know Gene or you know me. Okay. So let's go look at contracts. Did we unlock parts tech node? Okay. So this is just a workaround for the mods. This isn't an actual contract. There's no parameters for it. It should just autocomplete. Yep, there we go. Why is that up here? There we go. So that should be auto-completed. Now let's get an actual contract. So I like this first launch one. It's a pretty good contract. Let's accept that and go design our first rocket. Our first rocket, we don't have a lot of options to think about, so it should get thrown together very quickly. Alright, Werner von Kerman. Nice. To start off, we are going to need an avionics core. I'm gonna make this thing really skinny. The avionics core, it's kind of the brain of your spacecraft. So near-Earth avionics, they're a lot bigger, they're a lot more expensive, they're a lot heavier, they take a lot more power, but they actually let you control your vessel, as opposed to science cores, which don't really let you steer anything. You can do max throttle, min throttle, and turn things on and off, but you can't do any real fine-tuned controls. So, but that's fine for this rocket that we're doing. This is just baby's first rocket, and we're gonna put, let's say, 200 electric charge in there. That should give us 32 minutes of power in this thing. So, with that, 32 minutes should be more than enough. One thing we can do is, if we go into experiments here, we can put some science in this thing. So I think a barometer and a thermometer, those are the only two science experiments we have. We could just put them on like that, but I like having them inside the avionics core, so I just click on one part and, ooh god. You just click on one part and you can turn them all on or turn them all off. So those running, that might change our power duration. Nope, it still looks like it's about 32 minutes. Okay, so we've got our brain set up. Next thing is, it helps if rockets are pointy, so we're gonna get a nose cone. There we go. That actually looks pretty good. Just wondering if I think I like that more, this. So yeah, we're gonna make it nice and pointy. And next thing rockets need is fuel. So let's do that. 300 millimeters, same as everything else. Just so it's all nice and in line, and grab Aerobee, which is gonna be by far your best starting engine here. So if we look at the Aerobee, it has 3 potential configs as we get higher tech, but right now we're stuck with the WAC Corporal. And this needs to burn for 47 seconds. So, And you'll also see it needs high pressure tanks. So if we go to tank type, right now we're using just normal steel tanks, but we can switch to steel high pressure tanks, and that will satisfy this Aerobee. For some reason it's not giving me the fuel, but sometimes if you just try detaching and reattaching things, it can kind of figure it out. So there you go, that's fuel in our Aerobee. If we look at our buddy MechJeb here, it might be a little bit small for you guys. I'm going to see if I can bump up the UI scale. Yeah, let's do 1. There we go. Right now this guy has 13 seconds of fuel, so we're going to need to stretch this tank out until it has 47 seconds. 47.5, that's fine, because this guy's actually going to leave about 5% of his fuel in the tank. So really we don't need to worry about that extra 0.55 seconds. And actually, he can run, this engine can run longer than 47 seconds. It just, after 47 seconds, the chances of failure go up dramatically. So we kind of want to avoid running them past that. Yeah, so this rocket, this engine will light and it'll go. A problem with it is it's going to struggle to go straight, because, right, we can't turn with this engine, and our brain, our avionics, isn't even smart enough to figure out how to do that. So, to get around that, we're going to use some fins. And these should just sort of hold the thing in prograde. Prograde being a fancy term for forward. So, we're grabbing some of these procedural wings, which I really like these wings, because you can just grab them wherever you want, mess with them until they're the exact shape that you want. So I'm gonna do that really quick. First thing I'm gonna do, this trailing edge, we don't really care about it because we're not trying to generate lift with these, we're just trying to keep the back held in straight. So thickness can also go down a whole lot. That's pretty good. We can make these a hell of a lot smaller. There we go. That's nice as a base, and then let's drag this in so that we can actually kind of see what we're doing. There we go. That looks pretty good. If anything, it's a little thick. So just gonna bring that into like 0.3 or 0.03 at the tip. There we go. That looks a lot better to me. And what these wings do is, here, I can visualize this for you. So you've got your vessel. If it's going straight up, the wings provide basically no drag, right? But the second you tilt your rocket at all, let's say 5-degree tilt, right? Those fins are going to start catching a lot more air in the back, and they're going to push the back into line. So those are going to pretty much just hold the rocket in straight as an arrow. And another way to visualize this is you can see the center of mass and the aerodynamic overlay. So aerodynamic overlay basically is where the air is, where the center of aerodynamic forces are. So where the air is pushing, basically. So air is behind the weight, and if I click this, I'll get a little red bubble. The red bubble shows where the weight goes as the fuel drains, so you can see as I drain the fuel, that should just kind of merge, right? So as we can see, the weight is always behind or ahead of the drag, which means the back should always get pulled to the back, which means we will go straight. So that'll be good. This thing is basically ready to fly. We need to give it a paint job. maybe give it a little bit of a launch clamp. There we go. Let's see. I like having some sort of verticality on these things. Maybe like that. I kind of like that. Oh, and I almost forgot. I actually think I'm gonna try to recover this. Just because we might as well. This thing isn't gonna be up for very long, and if we recover it, we can what's it called? We can get science just on the basis of recovering it, which will be very nice. And I like that paint job. The orange makes it feel like it's all high visibility and all that. Alright, leading edge, stock black. There we go. So yeah. Orange is high visibility, the black lets us see if it's spinning or not, which some people spin stabilize their sounding rockets. I've never really seen a point. The aerodynamics hold it together more than good enough for me. But yeah, I wanted to recover maybe not all of this, but at least part of it. And actually, I think I will try to recover all of it. So we're gonna grab this parachute, which I know looks way too big, but we'll tweak that in a second. If you go into the action group thing with these procedural parachutes you get in RP1, you can change all sorts of things, first and foremost being their size. And that kind of broke, but there it is, fixed. Okay, so going through these settings, deployment timer, don't really care. Hey Mac, how you doing? Spare chutes, don't need any of those. This thing's going to be coming down fast enough that if we fail to deploy, we fail to deploy. Let's call it 8 seconds for our touchdown speed, but we are using 2 parachutes because this is a double. I'm going to change pre-deployment to 2,000 because I don't like waiting for the fall all the way from 5,000. Yeah, Mac, you're just in time for the first sounding rocket of the new playthrough. My goal to land a Kerbal on the moon before Kerbal Space Program 2 comes out. All right, that looks good. That all looks good to me. We could simulate this, but I don't think we need to. Or did that get buried? Okay. So yeah, that'll be that. Shouldn't be too hard on that front. That I don't know. I really struggle once I get to like Gemini. Ooh. I think I'm gonna name. Need a naming scheme for this sort of thing. Oh, also the fins moved up. Can't be having that. Gotta have them all the way at the back. Well, I guess landing them on the moon isn't too hard, but it's the getting them back part that I've struggled with. We're gonna call this the dart, because that's pretty much what it is. It is just a dart. We'll save that, and oh, I almost forgot tooling. So if anybody's watching who's not super familiar with RP1, there's a mechanic called tooling that's basically it's a buy-in cost to set up infrastructure to cheaply and quickly make the parts that you have designated in the future. So basically I can spend 1,000 on this tank, and if I do that, you can see the cost right now is 1,300. Build time is 312 days. If I do that, It gets down to 308, and we knocked 100 off of there. I'm also going to do that with my avionics, which really knock it down. Avionics are major, because now this thing's basically free and builds pretty quickly. And we're going to do the nose cone too. So 57 days, 63 funds, although actually it's closer to 100 funds because of this integration cost and this rollout cost. Or you can use the RP1 menu and tool everything at once. That is also something you can do. I tend to avoid doing that because I don't. Here, let me just get a. So this isn't tooled, right? If I go to this, it says there's untooled parts, so it tells me that. So if I forgot to tool the parts, I can go back at this point and did that actually build? I didn't want that to build. I could go back and tool it at this point, or I could decide, yeah, go ahead. I didn't want that tooled anyway. But if I do this, I might tool something that I'm only going to use once on accident, and I don't like doing that because it feels like a waste. Let me just also get a decal on here because I really like using these decals. First off, let's set the fill color to white because that'll stand out against the black. And this will be D001. Actually, that's a little ambitious. D01 is probably good. I doubt we're going to launch 100 of these. Let's designate that D01. Let's launch it. And then its backup will be D02. And we'll get that going. Okay. So that's our first things built. This is your first playthrough with 112? It's my first one on stream. I've gone to like first orbit basically, just in my own time, making sure I'm familiar with all the systems and everything works properly and there's no major bugs or any of that. But haven't gone much beyond that. These guys have basically no rollout cost, so I'm gonna buy another point, and that can go in the VAB again. So that's down to 50 days now. So let's get that done. I really like the hollow parts you can get. Those are like my biggest thing that I really like. Because you can build a probe core around a solid rocket motor instead of having it like hang off the back like it doesn't belong there. So I really like those. Okay, D01, ready to launch. Let's go. All right. Ooh, not tried that yet? I mean, like, functionally it doesn't really do anything except if you've got like a wide fairing that's not so tall, it keeps the stack a little bit shorter in there. Okay. So, I think we just fire this guy off. What's the Aerobee's spin up time? 0.06 seconds. Okay, we don't need to light this initially then. Here we go. But yeah, no, it allows you, and I imagine it's also good for landers too. Okay. We are going a little bit off course, but that's fine. This thing, what was the contract for this? Reach a kilometer. Okay, we've already done that. So right now our goal is just to get down and get as many of these altitude and speed records as we can. And as you can see, we are running all of our science, although I don't think we get anything until we hit 40 kilometers. So really not much point there. Okay, and we've burned out. We're gonna hit 50-ish kilometers. That number is gonna keep coming down because drag is pushing us back. but we should get some science from our instruments here. And we have a trick that we can use on D02 to get it even higher. For one thing, we're probably going to pull the parachute out. Alright. And let's get that parachute ready to go. One thing I didn't think about, these fins are going to mean this thing is coming in really fast, because it's going to be coming in nose first, so the parachutes might actually not be able to catch it. But because we hit the 40-kilometer mark, we're still going to get some science from it. And as long as we get a point of science, we should be fine. So we're going to time warp forward real quick. Watch this thing tip over. Hopefully there's nobody living in that town. Ooh. This is not going to be a good look for NASA's first launch. I guess it's NACA at this point. NASA doesn't exist until Sputnik goes up. I was doing a test in 112 last week. My first sounding rocket hit 137 kilometers. That was with a Tiny Tim, though. Yeah, I find that it's best to cheap out. Or I think that it's best to cheap out on your first rocket. Because you kind of just want to get it up, right? That way you can start getting science. Oof. Okay. Nice. That was so dicey. Oh man. But all we lost was the engine, which means we're going to get science for recovering this. Basically what I was saying is you want to get your first science back as soon as possible, because right now my labs are idle. They're not doing anything. Yeah. With a Tiny Tim and probably without a parachute, I imagine. Because that parachute does hold you back a lot. Yeah, see, there are 5 science just for coming back. And then on top of that, we got a 1.5 science just from the instrumentation. Okay, that parachute landing was so dicey. Okay. Let's see. I think aluminum tanks has to be everyone's first pick here. Aluminum tanks, and then XLR-11, and I kind of want to go straight for early rocketry from there, I think, because this first XLR-11 config, I think it's kind of a trap, because it needs pressure-fed fuel tanks, which means you have to tool pressure-fed fuel tanks, and then you never end up using them after you get this early rocketry node. Yeah. Right there. Right? Yeah. So I'm going to pick that up, and then we have 3 other science, which I guess with those techs we can go for the conic cockpit. And these supersonic wings. And with 2 more, better solid rockets never hurt anybody, and we can get started on moving towards this early science. I will be doing no planes playthroughs in the future, so no need to worry about that stuff. Fair enough. What, you just decided you didn't like the planes? I'm definitely going to be spending less time on planes, I think. Slash maybe just doing a lot of the X-Plane flights off stream. Because they take so much time. Okay. Mission control, what do they want from me? Reach 50 kilometers, and we can also take Kármán line. If what Max said is true, I can't imagine his first rocket is much different from mine. I don't know. I just think the planes are neat. It gives something. It gives your starting pilots something to do, you know. Oh, by the way, I was meaning to ask. How did you change the names of your Kerbals on your stream? Like, is there a mod you're using, or were you going into the save file? Because that was the way I found to do it. But if there's a mod that lets me just do it in-game, that would be very cool. Alright. So, we're pulling the parachute off because I don't really care about recovering these anymore. And I guess hollow inner stage is probably the way to go. I think I can get an Aerobee thing out of this. MS2, MS5, STS booster. I could have sworn there was an Aerobee config here. Huh. Guess no Aerobee decoupler. I'm just gonna go for the short one then. Yeah. You can change the name with ship manifest before you hire them. Changing afterwards mucks up the retirement dates. Yeah, that is one thing I did run into on my last playthrough, is I changed it in the save file and they just didn't retire anymore. There's an Aerobee option? Hollow inner stage. Saturn. Truss. Oh, it's in here, huh? Yeah, there it is. There we go. Alright. And we got our Tiny Tim. Now, does this thing need fins? Yeah. Let's give this guy 4 fins down at the bottom. And let's paint those gray. There we go. Oh, almost forgot the tips. There we go. Only needs 3, save that mass. I mean, it's on the booster, right? It burns for a second. But I guess you're right. Which... Oh, that's kind of annoying. I didn't put any of these on, like, an axis. Okay. Okay. There we go. We've got a nice 2-stage rocket now. I guess, if you can call it that. That's, it's barely 2 stages. Our little Tiny Tim here burns for a second. And then let's fix up our staging. So, this ullage tag here, what that means is basically the engine cannot ignite in free fall. It needs something pushing up on it in order to light the engine. It's something about fuel being all bubbly in 0G. So what we're doing to counteract that is we're actually lighting this engine on the ground with the Tiny Tim. So it'll be doing its whole spin up process while the Tiny Tim is burning, and then once it's done with that, the Tiny Tim will be burned out and we can stage it off here. So that's why our staging looks a little funky to what you might expect if you're a little bit more familiar with stock Kerbal Space Program. And then, just out of curiosity, because I do have a friend who's been playing 1.12 like sort of alongside me, and they have to tool their decouplers, and that's something that I haven't seen in mine. Am I like, am I cheating? I don't know. But like there's just no option to. It's the same thing with like the ring. No tooling. I don't know. And also the fairing bases. Like I have to tool the actual fairings, but not the bases. It's weird. Feel like I'm cheating. I've not noticed tooling on decouplers? Okay. Okay. So I'm not cheating. Alright, we're gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna go in and edit this just because I am a little OCD on these things. I gotta change the decal on it so it says DO3. Here we go. Set the text, DO3. Let's call it up there, DO3. Save those edits. Okay. I do like doing stuff in orbit is definitely more exciting, but there is something nice about being able to just like throw together a rocket just on the fly. Like 5 minutes, now I've got a sounding rocket. It's nice. So yeah, 128 days before we get aluminum tanks. Let's do some more launches in the meantime. And hopefully what Mac was saying is right, and this thing can break the Kármán line. Of course, it might be moot, because test flight might just say no. But I'm pretty confident, unless we get like a failure to ignite, which I don't think we can, because we're lighting the Aero Bee on the ground. And I think pre-launch failures are not a thing anymore. I think we are pretty solidly guaranteed to at least hit 50 kilometers, so we'll satisfy one contract. So I'm going to stage this off and then pretty much immediately drop this decoupler. What the hell just happened? Our Tiny Tim exploded. Okay. Well, that's not ideal. I was just saying pre-launch failures weren't a thing. However, I think we can salvage this. Can we... No, I can't recover it to the vehicle assembly building. Or the spaceplane hangar, because it wasn't built there. Okay. I was going to say, I think we can salvage this. We just put on a new nose cone and fit it with a new booster, but nope. D2 is a failure. So that means D3 will have to hit the 50 kilometer mark. I don't think I've ever had a Tiny Tim failure. On the plus side, we did get another 0.9 science because that technically flew. Propelled by the explosion, I guess. No, I need to edit you because the paint's wrong. I want to check the stats on that Tiny Tim. Let's see. Rated burn, reliability at 0 data, 99.9%. Reliability at max data, 100%. Wow. So that was 1 in 1,000. No, I went into the F3 menu and it said it failed with an explosion. That was 1 in 1,000. Right? I think? Oh, no. That was 2%, because it was on ignition at 0 data. So 2%. It's not likely to happen, but it can happen. Oh, wait. There's a higher thrust variant. I never knew this thing had configs. That's probably not as good for... Actually, that's pretty much exactly the Aero Bee startup time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't burn it off because it just exploded as soon as I hit spacebar. So this needs to be D4. Always good when test flight lets you know exactly what kind of playthrough this will be. Love it when that happens. Alright. Let's see here. So D3, that has the worst version of the Tiny Tim, but I can't be bothered to change it. So we're going to finish that up. D3 is ready to go. Roll it out, takes 11 hours. And I think the issue of starting the Aerobee when you stage the Tiny Tim is you get a little kick from the decoupler, so you separate, and then if the Tiny Tim is still burning, it comes up and slams into your new your Aerobee, which can either like give it a wobble or it can straight up break the engine. I've had that happen. Or if you stage it too late, you just get the vapor and feed lines. So I find it's best to just start this on the ground. So 100 kilometers is the dream, 50 kilometers is the short-term goal. Let's see what we can do. I can use ascent guidance to help me. But this is a science score. Oh, you mean just with the hot staging? I don't think that would help, actually. Because doesn't ascent guidance disable itself and cut throttle when you lose avionics? That's my understanding of it. Support hot staging, lead time 0.6. I mean, I'll try it. Put it into stock mode. Okay. And support hot staging. Orbital inclination, I don't want it. I guess none of this stuff will do anything. I just want to make sure it's not going to do anything to kill my engine. So what I do there is that. I don't even really care to drop solids early. So let's do that. Let's try this out. I've never done this before, but we'll see if it works. Sorry, the top option, not stock style. Okay, I'm gonna revert to launch because I was fed some bad info there. Yeah, but no, the fewer buttons I have to press to fly my spaceships, the better. Alright, support hot staging. Auto stage is on. Alright, let's see if this works. Oh, I forgot to change the staging. And throttle up. Jeez. What am I doing? I guess I got thrown off because PVG automatically throttles up. I think. Yeah, it did automatically throttle up. Let me fix the staging. Yeah, I'm just going to do this manually. Delays to 0, stop at stage 0. Oh. That's 100% what it is. Yeah, okay. God, I wish I was literate. That would be nice. Yeah, no, control disabled avionics. That cut its throttle. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it manually. I mean, it's not that hard to fly an Aerobee. Just full throttle. There you go. And we'll see how high this can get. I feel like 80 is totally doable. MechJeb settings might be wrong. I was doing this fine with MechJeb. Fair enough. I can do it fine manually. And MechJeb works for the most part on my orbital launches. It gets a little funky when I try to do like a spin stabilized kick stage. But MechJeb and I working together can do most things. Alright. Looks like the Kármán line's busted. 111 apogee right now. It's dropping, but I don't think it's dropping fast enough to make us lose that. Yeah. Let's just time warp that up. And we'll blow this up when it hits 40 kilometers on the way back down. There's no reason to blow it up before that. We're getting good science. Actually, going back to the whole like X-Planes thing, I realized something just on my last like little practice run that I was doing on my own. I realized you can throttle the XLR-11, that the X-Plane engine, which means you can get like the full range of the supersonic test. Oh, tutorials on the RP1 wiki have been updated. That's nice. I'm gonna go take a look at those when this stream is done. Just make sure I'm aware of all the new stuff that's going on. Alright. Let's blow it up. There we go. Alright. Good launch. Alright. So, I don't really know what my goal is today. Oh, I can tell you what I should do. I should start proficiency training for the X1 on just all of my pilots. Teach them how to use that cockpit so that when I get the plane built, they'll be ready. Can't really do suborbital yet. I doubt I can do that. Can't do these because I need control. So it looks like we're doing a V2. I might do one more Aerobee just to get science while I wait for the post-war materials science to get out, but it's not going to be doing any contracts. I can tell you that much. Let's get early science. Actually, is there another solid tech I can get? No, I need early material science to get basic solid rockets. And honestly, this is a pretty lackluster node. 1956 solid rocket engines, though. I love the GCRC. It's a great engine. So yeah, I think we're gonna launch D4. We're gonna do that one, and because that early materials science or post-war materials science, I think it was. Because we got that, we can now make aluminum tanks, which means we can make a nice aluminum rocket, which will go higher and further, and just in general be pretty good. So, what do we want this rocket to be able to do? I want it to be able to launch cameras into space. I want it to be able to launch like mice into space, and overall just handle higher payloads and altitudes. So, for one thing, this is absolutely going to need avionics control. Science Core, I don't think is going to cut it. We might have a variant of this with just the science core, but I don't see that being necessary. 3 meters is a little bit overkill. Let's try something like 1.6, which everybody who has played RP1 knows is the diameter you use for this sort of thing. Get a nice avionics core there. We'll configure that later. And conventional structured tank. There we go. We can set that up to be aluminum, which makes it a lot lighter. I just like getting all of my parts out first before I actually configure them, really. I go 1.7, same size as redstone, saves on tooling later. I generally don't do redstone. That's a rocket that I generally ignore. But fair enough. Let me ask you, what does redstone do for you? Let's see. Can I get a nice boat tail over that? Yeah, that's nice. So yeah, this is the RD100. It's a great early game engine, has 70 seconds of burn time, and is big. Let's get that set up with fuel. Length, let's go the full 70 seconds. There we go. Mercury eventually, but useful for the various suborbitals. You see, it's weird because I usually do those after I like are you talking about the suborbital biological experiments? Because I generally don't have an equivalent to mercury redstone in my programs. I generally do that sort of thing with the X15. And I generally just use my Thor booster to do the biological suborbital. Let's turn the auto shape off and extend this out. You don't do planes. Fair enough. 1.5 meters should be enough. Let's just test it. Like, the biggest thing we're ever going to want to put in here is a film camera. And that fits nicely. Okay. Can I make that wider, actually? That way the film camera looks like it sits nicer. Alright. So this is kind of the shape we're looking at. It's a big fat cigar. 20 tons. Electric charge, let's say like 500. 20 minutes of charge, that's good enough. That's more than we need. One thing I am gonna do, it's gonna get the standard science kit. Although, actually, no, because pretty much every, I don't know. I was thinking every time this launches, it's gonna have a payload that'll have the science kit, but I guess what if we're just doing like a sounding rocket payload thing? Ooh, which that is a very good point. Perhaps this thing should also have a tank of sounding rocket payload. I think that's just a high pressure tank. 6. Let's see, I doubt we'll need more than like 500 volume. So, there we go. Yeah, this is pretty good. One thing I do want to do, can I, use presets. So we can use presets now to change the shape of our fairings. Doesn't really do much with this guy down here. I think I like the conic, because that'll be easiest to strap fins to. Ooh, Atlas is kind of funky. I like Delta. It's kind of blunted, but also pointy. Long March is good. Here. Let's build this fairing around a camera, right? Because that is by far the biggest thing that is ever going to go in here. So let's just make sure it clears the camera. And then whatever else goes in can be in the pointy bit above the camera. So there we go. That looks good. Pretty snug, but definitely clears it. So that's our fairing. Okay. So there's our rocket. Let's get some fins, not supersonic. I'm gonna do 4 on this one just because feels right. Let's get rid of that trailing edge because these are not about lift, they're about drag. Make them thinner, but we don't need to make them too thin. And then let's pull them down onto that fairing. There we go. Or boat tail, I guess is the term. All right. That's not quite right. I'll fine tune it later. There we go. Got your license today. Nice job, Level Up. Proud of you, I guess. You got a car? Or it's more of like a ceremonial thing for you right now? Not yet? Nice. I remember my first car. It was a incredibly crappy 1990 Camry station wagon. That was constantly breaking down. Alright. That's looking pretty good. Alright. Yeah, I really like that. And then I think this is the right diameter for this launch tower. There we go, bring that down. That looks good. I like it. We'll have to touch up the paint. Avionics are all configured. Let's see. Hiring a car on Friday, first time with the stick shift for about 15 years. Dang. Yeah. I'm not great on stick. Yes. You. Let's try like a muted blue. Kind of like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll get the fins all done up. Section, leading edge, we'll try white. Like that. And white. There we go. Good looking rocket. Let's see here. Is there anything I'm forgetting? First off, let's see. Cost 600 and builds in 160 days. That 160 is not totally unreasonable. Um, yeah, I kind of like this. I think we'll call this the Javelin. So whatever this thing's payload is will be J01. Let's call it that. Like that. That's a good font. Can we... Ooh, am I asking for disaster by trying to match that blue? It's like a bluish green, almost. That's actually pretty close. I think that's right. I mean, it's not perfect, but close enough. There we go. Javelin. We will save that. And I don't have any contracts for it. I guess we'll hold off on building it and pick up a biological contract. Probably could do that on a Aerobee, but it's just a little bit of a pain in the neck. We can definitely do this one. And then at the same time we could probably do an altitude sounding rocket. The question is, can we return from 180 kilometers? I think we definitely can. As long as we're not like moving laterally. So yeah, let's grab that. Ooh. Wait, so Mac, what do you mean hiring a car? Because that, like, I don't know. When I think hiring a car, I think, like somebody to drive you somewhere. Which, oh, renting it. Gotcha. Okay. Let's get a dart. Only thing I want from the dart is this little chunk here. We can put that on a biological sample. Can I help you? Okay. I did rotate these back. We're not gonna have like a proton incident. Okay. Can't have those running twice. Okay. I'd rather have it run on this. And let's set the force percent to like 5%. I just want there to be a little push to separate them. Okay. And that is our Javelin. We could pull out this tank. Ayo, what am I working on? We're putting some mice in space and hopefully bringing them back. Like really hopefully bringing them back. We don't get paid if we don't. How are you doing, Olifanti? And RO? Yep, RP1. The whole shebang. Let's see. Oh, I need to, where is it? Fairing decoupler off. There we go. RSS to stock? No, nothing stock about this. This is about as far as you can get from stock. I think that's good. Sim time? Yeah, I should simulate this because this is going to be a lot to tool. Oh, RSS is better than stock. Gotcha. Yeah, no. I can't go back to stock, and I'm a little worried that my my penchant for our realism overhaul is gonna ruin Kerbal Space Program 2 for me. Because like this is a pretty like tailor-made experience for me and people like me, and I'm a little worried that Kerbal Space Program 2 is not going to compete. How stable is it? If you use the Express install, it's super stable. Let's just point up. Actually, no, let's not point up. Let's point up and then translate over a little bit so that we don't crush our launch pad when the engine fails on this thing. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Pitch over a little bit. I just don't want to come down on top of the launch pad. CCAN? Yeah, it's the Express install through CCAN. There are all sorts of guides on it. Yeah, super easy to get working too. Like they've taken pretty much all of the troubleshooting out of it, in my experience at least. It's like up until the 1.12 Express install, I had never gotten an RP1 install working in a day, which is pretty cool that that's on the table now. RO Wiki is your friend. Cool engine effects and sound. Yeah, that's courtesy of Waterfall. I don't know what does the sound, but the plume is Waterfall. Are we gonna hit 180? This thing should hit 180. Yeah. Just buying myself a little bit of a buffer because I know drag's gonna try to bring me back down. Let's time warp. There we go. 100 kilometers. I'm gonna get rid of our fairings now, and as this swings up, I'm going to stage off our return capsule. Which for some reason that wasn't the route, because I didn't make it the route, I guess. There we go. Alright, so this when we run it for real, will be the first thing in space. And hopefully the parachute will bring it back. Alright. This should be much easier for the parachute than its last job, which was bringing down a whole aerobee, fins and all. I think Waterfall also affects the sound. I believe that's where the Titan whoop is from. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, we'll get to hear that at some point. Maybe? I don't know. I'm not going expressly like American engines or expressly Soviet. I'm gonna kind of mix and match where applicable. I worked out an early hybrid rocket that uses both American and Soviet engines to pretty good effect. So you'll probably get to see that in a little bit. Not today, but it'll be good. Can we come down? Is it better looking than stock? You tell me. You tell me how it looks. RD108 and AJ10? I found the LR79 and RD0105 works pretty good, but you need casters for it. Otherwise it can't get off the pad. So I guess it's kind of like Thor Aegina. Could you show me the planets? I'd really love to see them. Sure, after we get this rocket worked out, I'll go into the tracking station and we'll run through them all. Alright. I just want to get this payload in the queue, so it's off my plate. Yeah, it is an interesting mix. The thing is, the RD0105, in my experience, is a little bit of a trap. It's that 7-minute burn time on it. That if you use the whole thing with one ignition, like either you've got to put the whole stage in orbit unburnt, or you've got crazy gravity losses using the full burn time. 20K? Thank you for the follow, Olifanti. Yeah, we're tooling that. And yeah, this will be J01. Let's get that in the queue. and because I think we're going to be a little bit short on time when this thing launches, I want a second one building for the contract in case J01 goes down. There we go. What's up? Of course I use KCT. Make a blimp? No. Blimps don't go fast. If it doesn't go fast, I'm not making it. Alright, as promised, we're going to do a quick run-through of all of the planets. Maybe even stop by Ceres and Vesta. Make a fast blimp then? Impossible. It can't be done. Alright, so first up we got Mercury. Nice little gray ball. Pretty cool. Next up we got Venus. Absolute unit, little cue ball of a planet. Got some nice clouds there. We've all seen Earth. We know what Earth looks like. Let's take a look at Mars. You can use tab. Oh my god. Game changer. Well, I'm going back to Mars. Tab does take me through the moons, which I don't necessarily want, especially as we get out to the outer planets. Valles Marineris right there. Olympus Mons looming in the shadows. That's pretty much all I know of Martian geography. Vesta, almost a sphere. Ceres actually is a sphere, but pretty small one. I think it's like a tenth of the moon or something. Big boy of the solar system, Jupiter. Let's see. The dot's not out today, but very pretty. Let's spam through the moons real quick. Saturn, by far the best looking thing in the solar system. Looking clean as fuck. Sorry, I'm trying not to swear. Hang on. Looking clean. I don't actually know. Mac, do you know if the rings are solid? Or like basically the way I think they would do the rings is either they're solid or they don't exist. Yeah, no, that's what I'm asking. Mac knows more than me. I don't know what happens if you go through the rings. Uranus, I'm not saying it the funny way, no matter how much you ask me. Gotta love that axial tilt on its lunar system, though. I don't know what causes that. I'm not smart. Neptune, looking very blue. Cool stuff, cool stuff. And last but not least, well, no, last and least, our boy Pluto. Ooh, actually looks like they filled him in a little bit. I remember when I first started playing RP1, Pluto had these bands that were just like unmapped. But it looks like they did some guesswork to try to fill him in. Because obviously we don't know all of the geography of Pluto. We've just got a couple of bands that we've actually gotten pictures of. Same with, well, like, we don't know anything about Triton. So this is all just guesswork. How can you even do crewed missions? My crewed missions don't really leave low Earth orbit historically. We mess around down low where there's nice a nice little magnetosphere keeping us safe. Yeah, I don't know how people do crewed missions to Pluto. Like, I would think the radiation alone would kill you. Like, even if you could pack enough supplies, just radiation from the sun, you'd be done. Alright, D4. Must take actually hours upon hours to go to Pluto? Yeah, like, just building the craft must take hours. I assume there's some, like, orbital construction that you gotta do. You gotta, like, dock a bunch of ships together. Soyuz complex style. Yeah. Crazy. I won't be doing that here. I'm not that smart. I am smart enough to launch these things, though. Oh, I thought I was smart enough to launch these things. Jesus. And we're flat spinning. Okay. It's okay, there was no contract for this thing. I'm gonna let this keep burning until it starts coming down. I just spent like 10 hours building a ship going to Duna. Yeah, for real though. The Destroyer is your man for a crewed mission to Pluto? Yeah. Got life support and nav time mods installed? Nice. Alright, we're gonna blow this up. Actually, no, I'm gonna let the engine burn out. No reason to give up that data. Alright. I'm not super worried about it. I wasn't trying to do any contract there. It's a pain. Yeah. Yeah, no, Kerbalism makes the game, like, it makes the game so much harder. Like, the fact that you have to worry about batteries when you're not loaded, your crew's gonna actually require resources too. It's a lot. Yeah. So what happened there? I believe what happened there is that thing that I was telling you about, where you stage from the Tiny Tim too early, and the Tiny Tim comes and hits your arrow beam. But I'm not super worried about it. Alright. Let's catch up our science. No, let's put another point in the VAB. These things take a little too long. Spent like an hour planning the Delta V, food you need, etc., etc. So the way I do it is I build the payload, right? The payload is a crew capsule, a heat shield, a parachute, and whatever supplies you need to last them that long, and then you just work backwards one stage at a time. At least that's what I do in stock. In this, I build the payload, and then I have a bunch of pre-built rockets that I just pick one, which is nice. But you know, did that too? Yeah. That's the way you gotta do it. Just all right. I need something that can do Mars orbit operations, all of that stuff, right? That's what I need. And then I need something for the Trans-Mars injection, and then I need something to put me in orbit, and yeah. 8 launches to build it all with the early tech tree. Nice. I love me some orbital construction. Yeah. The big thing I've done orbital construction in RP1 is I did a lunar Gemini where they rendezvoused with a God, what is it? It's a Centaur upper stage, so an RL-10 big hydrogen engine, and that pushes them to the moon, and that was pretty cool. Right, execute that. Let's fire up this engine. There we go. Pitch over a little bit. It gets petty? You mean pretty? Rocket looks familiar. There's not a lot of variety in these early game missions. And I may have stolen the paint job from you. Welcome in, Euron. We're doing our first suborbital return right now. I think the updates are making Lunar Gemini hard to do. How so? Are they making the Hydrolox foil off more? Yeah, no, we got a new person. Fresh in today. It's their first stream. Alright, I need to get ready to cut this engine now. Okay. So now we just coast all the way up to the desired altitude, which I believe is... It would be 180 if I had remembered to put the sounding payload in. New person, you're new in chat, right? Let's get rid of all those messages real quick. And yeah. Huh? All right. Okay. So this should just go up and then down, and we should have good separation here. All right. Why is the music so quiet? I need to... Music. Let's put that up to like 70. I like my Kerbal music. Oh, that's still really quiet. Alright. I'm ready to have my eardrums blown out. It's gonna happen. Alright. Alright, let's see. Ooh, there's the moon. Alright, we making it down? Yeah, I think we'll make it down. Blown eardrums are not fun, trust me on that one. Fair enough. I was just like, why is it so quiet? Alright. Yeah, it looks like our rocket already came down. We're coming down nice and close. That's actually a little bit too close, if you ask me. Rocket could have came down right in the middle of the Space Center. That's why you turn a little bit off of the pad. Alright. Gotta wait for this thing to come down now. Ooh. Just return home safely. I had a burst eardrum when I was 17. Staying upright was a challenge too. Oh yeah, because ears do balance, huh? Yeah. Yikes. Well, glad you recovered. Yeah, sounds real painful. Thankfully, I've never had anything like that. Like, I've never had any debilitating injury. I broke my leg in high school, but I was still able to, like, get around. So, yeah. Alright. Oh, my. That is a lot of science. Let's go spend all that. Alright. Early material science. We're obviously going... Honestly? Do I need basic rocketry? What configs does that give me? RD-103? Spending spree? Yeah. Oh man, I think we might just go straight for satellite aero material science. And I'm a 1 science shy of being able to make the push to orbital rocketry. All those parts, they're all just different kinds of tanks. Like that's all these are, is fuel tanks. We're gonna take it. Not all nodes have stuff in them. Oh yeah, that's true. Like, this is just an empty node. Yeah. How could you possibly research it all? Yeah, it takes a while, it takes a lot of commitment. And also, like, some trees do get neglected. Like, people will generally choose Hydrolox or, where is it, staged combustion engines. People generally don't go for both of those. A lot of people just totally abandon planes after, like, maybe this node. Some people don't use RTGs. All that stuff, you know? A lot of people really don't like solids, too. I love solid rockets. 0.1 away. Dang. What are the end tier items? I mean, that's like stuff that you got working on today. I mean, all this stuff is empty for like if I wanted to add near future mods. But like the end tier engines are like F1B. I haven't even heard of that. You got stuff like the Merlin. Looks like I don't have a... Oh, no, Raptors and staged combustion. Yeah. Raptor, BE4, all this stuff. That, like, you've got private companies making. Ion engines in here. How could you possibly use an ion engine in RSS? Because, like, then those you're genuinely talking about, like, 40-minute burns. I think I'm gonna... I think I'm gonna save up that last 0.1 science. Ignoring solids means no castors or UA1205s. I can't imagine not having those. Yeah, fair enough. Like, those alone are pretty major. Okay, no new contract. Let's just get this guy in here with our payload tanks. Yeah. Fair enough. I guess most people... What I meant by that is most people only use solids as boosters. A lot of people don't like solid kick stages. I really like them, though. Let's see, what's this contract? 95 units. Units. There we go. Let's save those edits. Suppose my playthrough was leaning heavily on Titan 3s. Yeah. I don't know. I have yet to launch a Saturn. I'm realizing. Like anything in the Saturn family. Squilly! Yeah, thanks for the welcome back. I'm doing a Kerbal Space Program again. It's been a little bit. Welcome back. Thank you for the sub. How you been? Given 1.12 a whirl, and I am really liking it so far. Let's see. This guy needs to be renamed. It's gonna nuke his save file after Gemini? No, because I have a goal here. I have a goal. Kerbal's on the moon before Kerbal Space Program 2. And if that seems like too easy a goal when I get there, I'm gonna shift it maybe to Mars? I don't know. Been good. School starts up next week, so streaming hours are gonna be like all over the place for a little bit until I kind of settle into a routine, figure out what I'm doing. Footsteps on Pluto in 1 month. I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. Let's see. We can spend some money on upgrades. Now we've got a big old R&D tech, or R&D queue. Let's put some points in there. Yeah, let's get Kerbals on the sun. Let's do it. If we go at night, we stand a chance. They got heat shields. What do you mean the sun's too hot? We got heat shields. Entry, descent, and landing. It's like right here. Yeah, right here. 15 points. We can land on the sun. That's a heat shield. Boom. All right. Let's see. Ooh. Pretty soon I get to make a plane. I like making planes. Just go at night? Well, no, because the sun's still warm. It's like when you turn off the stove, right? It's still hot, right? You can't put your hand on it right when you turn it off. The sun's still hot. It's just not as hot. But with the heat shield, you're fine. All right. J2. Need coffee? I understand fully. go get some coffee. No. I mean, if you were moving fast enough when you hit the sun, it won't be hot. Very true. Oh, very long. There you go. Gotta read the fine print. Yeah, no, if you're going like the speed of light, it's only hot for like 2 seconds. Although, I guess if you're going the speed of light, 2 seconds is weird. It's not actually 2 seconds. Alright. Let me just make sure all my science is running, because I don't have faith that I did that in the VAB. Oh, come on, come on. MechJeb is like perfectly in the way. Damn you. There we go. Yeah, we've got pretty much everything running. Pressure scan, telemetry, temperature doesn't work while shrouded. Good to know. Okay, we gotta bust our fairings out early on this one. MechJeb is always in the way. Gonna find a way to move it. If you do, let me know, because that would be very useful. All right. Ignition. And let's just get so we're not over the pad. All right. And back to vertical. Remember to ditch the fairing soon, because that messes with the temperature scan. We could just get it on the way down, but I don't want to. Right, it's 95 units, so we just need to hit 180. Just realized I'm blocking the contract window. I guess I'd be less in the way down here? No, because that blocks the Kerbals. I guess here's probably best. There we go. Oh god, I went way too high. I wasn't paying attention. Well, I guess ditching the fairings also helps us get rid of drag. Or increase drag. Drag it. Oh my god. It's that simple. Drag it with the right mouse button. I'm gonna go put this like all the way over here. Actually, I'm gonna mark it with my finger. There we go. Praise me more? No. I will praise you the proper amount. Alright. Let's time warp. We can't stage this before 180 kilometers, or we don't get paid. There we go. Bye, rocket. Not even a thank you or anything? No, I said cool. What more do you want? What more could you ask? I don't have $100. Man, I couldn't even get a full tank of gas today when I filled up. I broke, boy. Okay, let's bring this thing down. Ooh, that synchronized flip. Oh, that's not gonna cause problems, right? Oof. Okay. It just blew up. I feel like this might cause problems. Your track IR broke? Dude, why are you breaking stuff? Stop doing that. This stuff's not cheap. Right. It was getting old, so yeah, I'll get a new one. Damn. Privilege right there. There's that. 'Up. 'Cause, 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 Alright. Yeah, boots on the sun. We gotta figure out how to do it. That's the express goal of this space program, is get as close to the sun as possible. I want to get a Kerbal inside Mercury's orbit. Not all my money is wasted on healthcare. Oh no. Why does that one feel targeted? Not all my money is wasted on healthcare either. I just don't see doctors. There you go. Workarounds. Just don't get sick. Alright. That's a good science return. Can just walk off a 50 caliber gunshot. Yeah, no. Just toughen up. Oh, we've got a bunch more science now. Pretty good. Alright. So we want orbital rocketry. We want avionics prototypes. We want solids. And I think our next thing is those solar panels. Yeah. What's he doing walking in front of a machine gun? Fair enough. I've never done that. I hear it's a bad idea. American stuff? Yeah, I could make a joke, but I feel like it would be in poor taste. So I'm not going to. Gonna let y'all fill that one in your heads. Yeah. Alright. So that was early supersonics. So I think that lets us make a plane. And I like planes. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but I think planes are pretty cool. So we're gonna do it. I'm gonna try not to spend like an hour making this plane, because that might be a bit excessive, but I have been known to go into that region of time before. Such a natural streamer? I appreciate that, thank you. I don't always feel like it, but it's good to hear that what I'm doing is working. Thank you. I like planes too, but just not in KSP. Hey, as long as I have a KSP wheel installed, I'm fine with it. Alright, first thing any plane that is flown by me needs is an abort. Would donate if I could? No, there is absolutely no pressure to donate. Also, I don't think the link works, so don't worry about it. I'm just doing this because I like it and I have a good time. Why do you want to go up there? Get down here. Alright. Let's see, what solids do I have? Is it just these spin motors? Alright, we'll make do. Donate links. God, I really need to fix that. When I started out, I had the worst name ever. And it was Dampest Fart. Because that was what Xbox recommended for me when I was a wee lad. But then I realized I don't really want to be going by that, so I changed it. Alright. There's some solid. Why am I getting RCS build aid? Thank you. Go away. There's some solids. One other thing I am gonna do is I am going to put a couple in the bottom here, and what these are gonna do is they're gonna push the nose up in the event of an abort. So hopefully, if like things are going screwy on the runway, oh yeah, I'll get you back on the Discord. Sorry about that. But basically, if we're gonna hit the runway and stuff is being screwy, I can punch out. These 8 will push me forward. These 2 will push the nose up and not into the ground. And that's how you make an abort system. You just got to make sure that it's not totally symmetrical thrust. Let's see, 0. Let's get that out of the way because that keeps killing the window. Wanted touchdown speed, let's go with like 9. This doesn't need to be comfortable. It just needs to not die. Must go down to deploy, that's false. And deploy incredibly fast. There we go. So we have an abort. Then you throw on a little decoupler here. Can't even make myself a Kerbal with channel points anymore. Did I get rid of that option? So I did. Oh, you know what? I got rid of it because I was doing a game that didn't really lend itself well to that option. I'll put it back in next stream. Next thing we need is fuel. Nice solid 1.25 meter diameter tank. What I like doing is I like doing these planes modularly. So I can tool this tank, which I am gonna do. So purchase the tooling. Then I can just copy paste this tank as many. Oh shoot! No! Wait, am I good? Did I wait for the right config? Do I have that config? Basically, what I'm worried about is I tooled this without. I tooled it as steel, so regardless, that's bad. Steel is bad. But what I want to check is. Yeah, okay, I do have the pump fed version. So we'll use that. Let's make an aluminum plane instead. We'll tool that. Wasting money here for no reason. Let's go with about 5 meters. I think that's a good length. Where's our engine? There it is. Let's get a nice shroud in here, because I don't like my engine sticking out. I think it looks bad, and I don't do it. I don't make anything that looks bad. I mean, I make plenty of stuff that looks bad. I don't intentionally make stuff that looks bad. Let's put it that way. We only need 1 fairing node, so let's keep the part low, or the part count low. And let's get 2 engines in here. Let's start it off with a bang. Well, and make sure that if our flights do start off with a bang, they don't end quickly. There you go. That looks pretty good. That's maybe a little bit tight. Pull the top out. There we go. Alright, so that's a nice body for our plane. Let's get our wings worked out. I'm gonna use these nice supersonic wings. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna once again get rid of the trailing edge, because we're gonna put control surfaces on here. Ailerons, flaps, that sort of thing. Nice straight wing. That's gonna be too far back, but I'll fix that later. Make that a little bit thinner. There you go. Nice straight wing. There looks about right. We'll do this a little bit more scientifically than just eyeballing it in a minute. But for right now, just get all the parts down. We're going for 0.95 on the thickness. 0.095, sorry. 0.95 would be large. 0.095. There we go. Pull that in. Actually, let's get the flaps longer. What the flaps are going to do is they effectively change the shape of the wing when they're deployed, so that it makes more lift and more drag. So they're really useful for landing because they'll slow you down and they'll keep you in the air at a slower speed. Can also use them for taking off, although that's not something this plane's gonna have to do ever. So, lucky it. Because we're gonna drop this plane from a bigger plane. And that's gonna be real fun. Okay, let's pull this out here. Alright. I kind of want to keep that curve. Hang on. Gotta add more SRBs? We're just trying to break the sound barrier, my guy. We might put SRBs in this thing. Just a little kick to get you through Mach 1. That's something I sometimes like to do. There we go, that's a good shaped wing. Let's get a tailplane now. That's the next obvious thing. So something to keep us from getting crazy with the side slip. Edge trailing, let's not do that. Alright, pull the thickness in. I think 0.95 is just a good standard width here. That looks a little long. Because you've also got to consider we're going to have a control surface there. Get that in there. Don't some of the contracts explicitly exclude the use of rockets? Not the altitude ones. Those are just like the X-Plane Supersonic. I really only do X-Planes High. And I bet I could relatively easily convert this into a jet. I think it would be as simple as rip out these engines, put in a jet, and radial air intakes. We could, yeah, looks vaguely like Harrier-esque. Maybe I wouldn't use that one. Probably this one's better. Yeah, that looks like a Harrier. But if I need to make a jet plane, I think this is a good base. Maybe tweak the wings to better facilitate supersonic flight. I don't know. For this one, really all of the design features are going into helping it land better. Because with this engine, it's hard not to break the sound barrier. But it's pretty easy, as I'm sure anybody who's played RP1 knows, to not land. Not enough boosters? Bro, we got 10 of them. 10 solid rockets right there. Count them if you want. If you want to make a jet, just copy a MiG-15. Nah, because I'm just gonna do the option that has the least amount of tooling. Okay. Get that all mashed in there. There we go. Let's sink that down. Soviet jets are the speediest? Is that true? I honestly don't know much about jets. Most of my knowledge of planes comes from War Thunder, and I'm not in the jet phase yet. I know you played DCS, so you probably know a little bit better than me. It's a little bit big. Let's get rid of the trailing edge. Just look at the Foxbat. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know. Alright. Let's hang that a little bit over the edge. Mach 3? The SR-71 goes Mach 3. A-12? I guess those are kind of the same thing. It's a little bit long, bring that in. Yeah, but it's a fighter jet? I think the A-12 had guns. Alright, give me those little tweaks. Is that right? That's not right. It's close. Nope. Fine tune it. There we go. This thing is coming together very nicely. 0.8. Alright. I want to cut a little bit of a groove for the vertical stabilizer there. That's probably a little bit big. There we go. The RAF, the Nimrod, could be fitted with sidewinders. Did not make it a fighter. Fair enough. Well, Nimrod's a biplane, right? It's kind of a fighter. It's almost. Alright. Gotta configure the control surfaces. What the fuck is dynamic deflection? Wait. Is dynamic deflection like if you want to have a swept, not a swept wing, a swing wing? Not that Nimrod, the one based on the Comet. Oh, okay. I'm getting a little confused there. We're a little bit off topic. Alright. This is a flap. This is an aileron, so you do roll. This is a rudder, so you do yaw. And this is an elevator, so you do pitch. There we go. That should keep this thing from fighting itself too much. Let's see, what else does it need? It needs a landing gear and an air brake. Because if you've ever flown a plane without an air brake, and you've flown a plane with an air brake in RP1, you know it's a pretty major game changer. So let's set it as a spoiler. I don't want this doing any control. And let's get this thing shaped. Relatively thin. There we go. Here. Does that look like a good shape? I kind of like that. It's not like totally symmetrical, but it's good. So yeah, let's rotate this back, because we obviously don't want its normal position to be that. And pull it back to about there. And that's not really interfering with the engines. Good. Okay. Landing gear. Oh, wait. The air brakes. I didn't tell them how far to deploy. Let's get you 50 degrees of deflection. And actually, let's make sure the thing flies first. Oh, man, who just eyeballed an X-Plane? I did. I've done this way too many times. Okay. Let's put in the gear before we work out all of our mock sweeps and all that. Let's put one down here. And two in the back. There we go. I'm gonna bow them out a little bit, give me a little bit of a wider base, and I'm gonna bury the front gear. Maybe not that much. There we go. Feels good. Feels real good. Okay. So, stability is good with the gear down, going slow and low. What about when we do the flaps? Let's check every setting. Okay. Yeah. We're looking good. Yeah. So let's raise the gear, raise the flaps, take it up to 10 kilometers. Say Mach 9. We're good. Holy shit, is this thing not... Oh. I was just gonna say, does this thing not need any troubleshooting? But, okay, we got something to address. Change in X direction acceleration with respect to X direction velocity. So we've got a little bit of a positive feedback loop. I don't really know what that means. Probably. Oh, that's with the breakout. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so don't put the breakout when you're supersonic. Good to know. Yeah, this thing's good. Let's try Mach 2 at 20. Yeah. Oh, man. This thing just works. One thing I did forget to do. I'm gonna set this to like 1.25 strength. So that's gonna make it a little bit heavier, but we're not gonna rip our air brake. And I think this thing just has to be orange, right? Oh, I forgot to put in the fuel. That might affect things. So let's start from the front. Because I don't know that I want to fill all of these. 2 minutes of fuel. What's these things' burn times? 6 minutes. And it can go down to a quarter thrust. I think we're gonna do 3.5 tanks. Let's try that out. Yeah. How's that look? That looks pretty good. Of course, that does mean I have to redo all of the high altitude profiles. So 10 kilometers. 0.9, 1, 1.1, 1.1, right, Mach 2 at 20. And that should be about all this thing can do. Okay, the fuel actually doesn't affect the flight. Good to know. Yeah, we're just gonna do flat orange. There we go. Let's get the recolor. More orange. We'll keep the dull patch in front of the cockpit. Orange. Orange. Leading edge, I'm gonna do black paint because I think that just looks better. Like, there needs to be some contrast here. Frame, edge, black paint. Surface orange, frame. Actually, let's try, how's that look? I actually kind of like that. A little notch in there. Wait, there's a hole. Steal that. There you go. Alright. Orange, orange. Leading edge black. Let's do everything black there. Orange, orange, black, and then black, black, black. There we go. This thing looks like it's ready to go into The Sims. So yeah, let's actually see how that goes. This thing takes 140 days to build, which is not ideal, but, you know, you play the hand you're dealt, and hopefully we only ever do one of these. Alright. Let's simulate it. We got a bunch of stuff we gotta simulate. So, first and foremost, we've got to... I want to test the abort from the runway. So we'll hit the engines, get it up to like 70 meters per second, and then cut the engines. Yeah. Oh. Okay, I guess we're doing the flight test first, because when this thing is filled, it doesn't sit on its wheels. Distance from Space Center, let's make it 250. Sorry we're doing this at night. Turning atmospheric autopilot on, and did an engine fail to ignite? Failed to ignite twice. Okay, that's just not coming on. Let's revert, because I don't want engine failures to be a part of simulations. Why is that the default setting? And then start 12 hours from now. Alright. Boo boo boo. With test flight, if the engine fails, it will never relight? Yeah, okay, that's good to know. It's test light that you can try again? Alright. Yeah, welcome in. We're doing Kerbal. Just got RSS? Nice, you can play along. Alright, so let me turn on the autopilot with P. And the planets are really ugly. Huh. Like how so really ugly? Let's get some speed. Those elevators are working real hard. Nice 20-degree climb. Yeah, did you pick the low res? Because I'm pretty sure I'm on high res. $16K? That's medium res, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm really not great at that the whole troubleshooting thing. updated. It's for 8 and 16. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, let me just burn out the fuel as fast as I can and see if I can bring it in for like a water landing. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear the planets are really ugly. I just did the express install on CCAN, so if you did that and that's what you got, I don't know what to say to you. Let's see the internal view. Okay, this isn't one of those configurable cockpits. Express? Yeah, here, let me... Yeah. If you go with the high level, you get parallax, so I'm not sure how they could be ugly. Yeah. Yeah. In CCAN, I selected RP1 graphics, medium res, express install. Or, no, realistic progression 1, RP1, express install. If you do that, it'll pick up all the required mods for you. So my guess would be you're missing like RSSVE or something. But I don't know. Alright. Plane handles pretty well. Let's put it into a dive, get it down to the deck, and try to put it in the water. One thing I am going to do is I need to edit my action groups in flight and say number 1 is increase, number 2 is decrease flaps. Right? This thing pulls pretty good. Alright, and then we'll do runway landing tests soon. Wonder if I could use air launch to help with that. Like if I could drop myself like 20 kilometers going 100. A 100 might be a little bit slow for the air launch. Alright, this thing does get sluggish at lower speeds. Alright. Which, I don't know. That's to be expected. Can't quite Cobra with it. Won't let me. Yeah. So I'm just testing right now what happens worst case scenario in a water landing. This also lets me test its stall speed because I can just skim the water with my flaps out and see how fast I'm going when I fall out. Here's my brakes. They don't do a whole lot, and I forgot to paint them. So let's kick them out to like 70 degrees. Let's get our flaps out before we fall. Get that wing producing as much lift as possible. I'm a little high up too. Eesh. Alright. That feels good to me. Alright. Stall speed test. At what speed do I depart flight? We'll add like 10, 20 onto that and say that's the landing speed. Still flying at 70. Still flying at 60. Still flying at 50. And 40 I depart flight. Like 45. So let's say don't take the thing under 60 meters per second. Yeah. Revert the flight to launch? No, to the spaceplane hangar, because I want to do an abort test. Actually, no, I could do that from launch. Never mind. Let's go back out. I just need to dump all my fuel out on the runway. Alright. So, ship manifest. Let's dump our ethanol. Let's dump our oxygen. Let's dump our HTP. I just realized this is not going to be a great abort test because I just dumped all our fuel, so it'll be a standing still abort test. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good. Like, that's pretty good. It just kicked the plane off of the runway. So with all wheels on the ground, which is, I think, pretty much the lowest our nose can be, we didn't hit the ground. I'm gonna call that a win. We're gonna build one of these things. And then I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. So go get a snack, something. I might come back with like some blueberries or something. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling. Tool the fairing. Well, you didn't kill the Kerbal, that works. Yeah, and if you look at like real life ejection methods, they mess you up. So I'm okay if mine messes the Kerbal up, as long as they're alive. Just really quick, also need to set up the flaps. Okay. So yeah, as long as our wheels are out and my finger is on the spacebar when we land, shouldn't die. Oh, this thing needs a name. Shuttle-sized SRB on the back and air launch. I don't have the tech for it, but I could maybe pull something together by clustering Tiny Tims. Hear me out on this one. God, what should I name this thing? Let's just call it the Sparrow. Is Sparrow 2 R's? Oh. You know what? This'll just be the Arrow. So that's a cooler name. Get a nice deep red on that. realize I don't like that font. Don't like that one. That one's pretty snazzy. Scale. Mark one arrow. Actually, there. I like that. Arrow. I'll save that. Throw one of those guys in the build queue. Yeesh, that's a lot of money. It's okay, I'll pay it. Alright. Okay. Quick bathroom break. 5, maybe 10 minutes, I don't know. I'll be back. Go get a snack. Do some stuff. See ya. Oh man, we are back. Okay, so we finished up the plane last time. That's in the build queue. Let's see. We've got early solid rocket engines, which I think is just an upgrade to the Tiny Tim, which we're not really using anymore. So we're not gonna. It helps us get to better stuff, you know. Sometimes those techs are important, you know. But what else is important is the J3, which, let's see here. Let's do a bioreturn. Wants 35 units of sounding payload. We can do that. Let's get that done. 35 units. Let's see it. Okay. Let's see here. Blue tank, I think it is. Yeah. Okay, we already had that, but you know, why not squeeze a little bit more performance? Gonna go hang out with Flora? Okay, have fun. I'm doing science. Are you proud of me? Alright. Let's save those edits. That is J3. So that'll... I think we want to send that up before we build the arrow. I am winning. I'm doing so good. I'm doing the best. Here we go. J3. Okay, we can roll that out. That's going to take 3 days, 9 hours. Totally manageable. And let's get the launch done. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Why does it feel like I'm forgetting something? Oh man. This is gonna bug me. This is gonna bug me, and then I'm gonna find out what I was forgetting, and I'm just gonna wanna die. And that's how these things are gonna go. Did you forget something? I feel like I am. But I really don't know. Learned all air-to-air systems. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this guy up. Surface. Let's be ready to go with that and tilt it over. God, I don't have the focus for DCS. I could never. Alright. And straight up from there. Put an F1. I would if I had the science. I don't think the F1 would fit though. I need like an adapter for it, you know? And I think it would go through this puny little fuel tank in like a second. If that. You learn KSP stock and RP1, so DCS is doable for you. I don't know, I also don't have the equipment. I tried RP1 high graphics with all settings at highest with OBS running. New CPU barely noticed. Ooh, does that mean Max coming back to streaming? We getting more Max streams? Yeah, that's true. How'd RAM do? Because that's the thing that really will get you with RP1. 50%. Dang. You've got a beefy rig there. can stage now. Yeah, because I'm at... Here, let's see. Task Manager. I'm at 78% RAM. And I got 16 gigs. That's pretty nice. Yeah, I'm not running anything near that good of a PC. But congratulations on getting that running. So you're totally good to go then, right? Yep, 16 gigs. Yeah. I think when I started streaming, I was running 8 gigs. If I had been a bit more patient, I would have gotten a 126 or 12600. Yikes, that's it's a lot. No excuse to not stream anymore, Mac. Yeah, you got to get back to it. The chutes, and they caught us. Of course they caught us. They always catch us. Okay. So I think... Ooh, what time is it? It's 2:44? Apart from I'm in a different room and your desk is not suitable. He doesn't have the gamer setup. He just has the gamer rig. Yeah. Okay. So I think I want to do a flight in the X-Plane, and maybe after that a... depending on what engines I have, either the 3,000 kilometer contract or just a camera. God, if I could get the 3,000 kilometer downrange contract knocked out day one, that would be pretty great. You're using the studio drivers for the GPU? Ah, gotcha. Okay. Oh yeah. When we get early material science done, that's probably good enough for the 3,000 kilometer downrange. So let's bump that up to the front. Okay, but that's not going to be ready by then. I guess let's get early tracking systems. There's no reason not to. It's only 30 days out. Are we ever going to get KSP background music? What do you mean KSP background music? What, do you just want the VAB on a constant loop? Yeah, there's birds. There is no background music in the game in this state. Like, you get it when you're in space or when you're in a building. Knocking out renders of short videos in 1/4 real time is what I was after with the new system. Nice. You want VAB constant? I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. I'm not gonna say yes, I'm not gonna say no. Put it over. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So this will be J4. And I'm just gonna say, put that off to the side. can be done. All the KSP music is free and available. Yeah, I know that. It's just, am I going to take the time to do it? That's the question there. Alright. Okay, there's the core. Where's the parachute? The parachute I know is buried in there. Fine. Making me pull things apart to find old parts. Alright. That's a good film capsule. Let's just... There we go. Fits in there nicely. And yeah, okay. Also, one thing I should do, I should probably get the RD-102, even if I don't change the tank at all. It's just better. It only burns 50 seconds because it burns the fuel so much faster. Hang on. Is there not a 0? Where's something that looks like it could be a sounding rocket? That kind of looks like it. Yeah. There we go. Sounding rocket. Let's get a category for that. So yeah, let's just call this a javelin. There we go. And we'll upgrade the javelin later. But for right now, that's more than functional. J4. Into the queue. There you go. Yeah. I know, I've got to pay money. Dude? Duty? For right now. Hang on. I'm working on something for you. I'm getting the music up. Ooh. Been making stuff that will hopefully be used for an RP1 YouTube series. Oh, that's super cool. Slash. Here, I just made you a VIP. If you want to put your YouTube channel in chat, I would love to subscribe. There we go. Does this work? There we go. Yeah, no, I'll definitely check that out. There's nothing there yet. Still, I'd love to subscribe and be ready to go on that when you start uploading. There we go. Let's get that arrow built. Oh wait, we've got more tech. Alright. Ooh, I do love me some castors. I feel like I gotta go satellite era science. That's a pretty important one. Yeah, no. But no, love to support other content creators for the Kerbal Space Program stuff. Alright, I got rid of mission training because I was tired of having to remember to do it every time. Felt like it didn't really add much to the game. Alright, 250 kilometers. Hang on, wait. Oh no, I misclicked. I meant to go into mission control. Ugh. Also, just wondering, how's the audio working? You know me, I'm more of a fighter plane guy, not a bomb guy. How's the audio working out? It's great? Okay. Just trying to make sure it's mixed properly. We are going to break the sound barrier. Maybe a bit lower? Me or the music? Okay. The music? How is it now? Put it down a little bit. Let's go there. That should be good. Yeah? We good? We golden? Nice. Alright, let's get Brent Evans in the plane. Yeah. Let's do this. First flight of the Arrow. Alright. Let's get autopilot on. Let's get my plane tab that I made up. Tells me all my useful plane data. Alright, both engines lit. And what are our requirements here? Just Mach 1. Okay, that's like 340. So we'll absolutely gun it until 340, and then I forgot to put the science there. Dang it. I forgot to put the supersonic science in the cockpit. Alright, well, we've hit Mach 1. Gonna turn down the throttle because we kind of need to if we're gonna, we need to conserve fuel if we're gonna make it back. I'm gonna keep this engine panel up here, keeping an eye on the runtime. If this number hits 360, we're probably gonna lose the engine. Alright, now all we gotta do is come home. And I'm just keeping the throttle as low as I possibly can while still gaining speed. And that's how you maximize range on these things. Yeah. And I went the longest time without realizing that these engines actually can throttle. So I felt real silly when I figured that one out. Alright. Let's see. We are gonna hit 20 kilometers. think that is pretty much unavoidable. I'm just gonna keep throttle as low as I can get it. There we go. Nice so little drag up here that we're fine. Like even at this low throttle, we're not losing any speed. I do not know that we're gonna make it back to the mainland. 250 might have been a little bit optimistic. Okay, we're halfway through our max burn. Yeah, we get no science from this flight. That's unfortunate. Right. Current throttle's 31%, so 25 seconds becomes 75, which should put us less than a minute under our full burn, which is good. It's very good. Alright. Yeah, we might make it back. We're going pretty fast and we're pretty high up, which means we'll hold on to that speed well. It's not Mach 2 or anything, but, you know, it's not bad either. And this contract doesn't even give us a bonus payment for landing on the runway, so if we have to do a water landing, we can. We might end up doing that. Ugh. Man, tired. Didn't get enough sleep last night. And that's burnout. Alright, let's keep the thing pretty much level. Didn't quite hit 25 kilometers. Yeah. Alright. Can see the runway down there. I'm gonna have to adjust a little bit to the right. The further out we do that, the less energy the plane bleeds, the longer it can stay up. So I'm doing it just by doing this little tiny roll. And back centered. There we go. Alright, let's speed up a bit. We are subsonic and dropping fast. Let's see if we can't pick up a little bit more speed. Oh, shoot. Forgot I was in time warp. Yeah, never give your planes inputs in time warp. It's a bad idea. Alright. Looks like we got the runway pretty much perfectly dialed in. do some fine adjustments when we get closer. I'm also going to quick save up here. Can't imagine what could possibly go wrong. Yeah, no. I'm good at flying planes. I'm great at it. Landing them, that's where it gets tricky. Now, flying is easy. Landing, that's hard. All right. This actually looks like a pretty good approach. Oh man, I'm allergic to good piloting. Oh no. I think I'm coming in a little high, if anything. Because gotta remember, we want to set this thing down at about 70 or 60. So, yeah, gonna try to dump some of this altitude into speed. And then bleed the speed off with turns and flaps. Like that air brake there. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely coming in a little bit fast. Just gonna break down to 180 and play it from ear, or play it by ear from there. And I gotta remember I got that abort. All I need to do is shift my thumb back and we're gone. We're out of here. As long as we're not inverted, we're good. Oh, 180 and 150. Is that your YouTube channel there? Congratulations. In a couple minutes, you got yourself a subscriber. Alright, flaps out, gear down. Alright. Here we go, coming in. Switch to terrain. Ooh, we're a little bit high. Alright, ride the brakes in. Remember, I got this whole runway to work with, and I don't need all of it to come down. There we go. Nice and easy. That was a good touchdown. One thing I do need to remember to do, lock steering on those guys. There we go. Gonna stow the flaps and the gear for the next flight, because I don't want to have to deal with that while I'm on the air launch countdown. Alright. Good flight. And yep, we have successfully broken the sound barrier and set all sorts of altitude records. So, pretty good. Nothing went boom, always a plus. Absolutely. There we go. Number 4. Remember me when you hit it big. Alright. I think that's all I've got time for today. So, gonna look for somebody to raid. Let's see. God. There's some, there's a lot of people here. I guess I'll raid Dunbaratu. There's a lot of stuff going on with Kerbal Space Program right now. Yeah. /raid done. Did I spell that right? Looks like I did. Boom. All right. Let's head on over there. Show the guy some love. Drop a follow if you haven't. He's pretty cool. See ya.